What a day here in the Twin Cities Live studio. One of Food and Wine magazine's best new chefs of 2024, Karyn Tomlinson. She cooked for us. Look at, here it is.
Yeah, here it is.
Savory porridge.
This is the
porridge.
Have
a little bite?
Yeah, why don't we do that? We got to
into
crack into that egg. You have to do the egg.
Yes.
Oh, it looks so good.
Do I get to keep my chef hat?
Yes,
is that egg
you
poached
do.
well?
Yes.
No,
Great.
it's
Okay.
beautiful.
All right.
It is hot on the
Cheers.
bottom. I'm a little nervous. Oh, go ahead.
Can you imagine having that for breakfast, or as a nice little side with your, your dinner, whatever?
The little bit of funk from the fermented whatevers you put in there, peppers.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's my favorite part.
Oh, I'd eat that all day, every day.
And I don't do poached eggs. I got to do poached eggs.
Oh, I know.
That's so good. Okay,
Oh my gosh, Karyn, delish.
So she is sticking around, and we're going to find out what she's watching, reading, and listening to, all thanks to Chu Vision Institute. So first of all, this was fantastic.
Thank you.
I now know the difference between oatmeal and porridge.
Oatmeal is a porridge. Not all porridge is oatmeal.
Yes. On the back of the shirt.
On the shirt.
Yes.
On the shirt.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the shirts that are coming out, okay? We've got a whole list of all these shirts that Elizabeth is going to have out. Okay, so what you're watching, I know you probably don't have a ton of time, but you do have some time to watch and read and listen to things. What is this book or what is this thing that you're watching right now?
So I'm kind of a film nerd. My dad actually taught film, and so when I was growing up, I watched a lot of old movies. So I do watch the Criterion Collection.
Okay, give us the dish on this.
Yeah, so it has a lot of like classic and foreign films, stuff that you might not just find streaming on Netflix. I just finished Crossing Delancey, which I really enjoyed. Started watching one called It Happened One Night, a really old movie. I also just started watching Severance.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Now, that one's a tough one because you got to be okay not knowing what's going on for a long time.
Exactly. I know. And also, as it's kind of, it hits home, in people who have like a really involved workplace, a strong work culture. I keep thinking, man, am I doing this to my staff?
Have you watched The Bear at all?
No, I can't.
Too much.
I can't dare. I've only watched one episode.
I like to ask
yeah.
every chef that, and every chef seems to say like you're feeling anxious just thinking about it.
Yep.
That's stressful.
Yeah,
Okay,
I need more of a relaxing departure from what I do and the things that I watch.
Yeah.
And is the Criterion Collection, is that like a list that you can find and then you just can start knocking things off?
Yep, it's basically another streaming service.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're watching some of these older shows, do you have to like kind of put away all like the newfound things? Like we're so used to like high definition TV, the color really popping. Like, does that not bug you when you're watching like older shows?
It doesn't bug me because I grew up with that.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching, for other things. I get to see the composition. There are different film styles. The frame speed in older movies is a lot slower because people's attention spans were different, and so they just keep getting faster and faster. So if you're not used to that, it's a little bit of an adjustment.
Oh, I think it'd be like a coming home to watch that kind of stuff. Okay, let's talk about what you're reading. This is by a friend of yours, Ray Nayler, and the book is called The Mountain in the Sea.
Yeah, I'm just getting into that right now, and I'm really excited. Ray is a really interesting guy. He's been all over the world. He worked with the Peace Corps, and he was part of foreign aid for a while. And he's really an interesting person to talk to, and so I've been really excited to get into this book.
Is it a novel?
It is. Okay. It's a novel. I think it takes place in sort of a futuristic setting. It's, I guess, kind of a thriller, and it has to do with an octopus, as you can
It's got a good
tell.
cover.
Yes.
Yeah, the octopus is very hot right now, getting a lot of attention.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know when an octopus becomes a kraken, but that looks like a kraken to me. That's, that looks like a mythical proportions there.
I mean, is this a similar question as oatmeal and porridge?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good.
That's right. Okay, so what you're listening to is something that I don't think I ever even knew existed. Okay, so I know jazz. I know what a harpist is, but I didn't know jazz harpist is a thing. And you're listening to somebody called Dorothy Ashby.
Yes, I've just really been into her lately. And honestly, I mean, I want to learn more about her life and her work, but I love how she really brought the harp as to the jazz scene as an improvisational instrument.
Wow.
And honestly, I've had a lot of work to do. I've had a lot of things to kind of creative planning that I've needed to do lately, and it's great music to listen to while you're doing that.
Wow.
I get easily distracted by things, and so this one is like the right vibe for me right now.
I'm interested in the backstory of any human being who plays the harp.
Yeah.
What is the moment where you had access to the harp? Where were you thinking, I'm going to play the harp? When did you get it? And where do you store it? It's a fascinating
And
thing.
who teaches you? How do you go find an instructor that knows, that's an expert in harping?
Right, and then when does that instructor say, okay, now we're going to learn some jazz chords?
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
right.
Like, that's wild. You're right. All of that whole progression, that whole backstory is fascinating.
Very interesting picks, and all of these best consumed with a nice bowl of porridge.
Exactly.
Karyn, we love seeing you. Thank you so
thanks
much.
so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
always a joy to have her here. And if you haven't experienced dinner at Muriel in St. Paul, it's near the University of St. Catherine, St. Kate's as we call it in the hood. You can do yourself a favor, get yourself a reservation. We're going to post a link so that you can do that on TwinCitiesLive.com. Every ingredient there has a story. I've sat in that one table.
So yummy. All right, everybody, we're going to be back with one last bite right after this.
TCL's Watch, Read, Listen is presented by Chu Vision Institute. Dr. Chu is a world-renowned surgeon providing the most vision solutions in Minnesota. Contact them today to find out why more Minnesotans are choosing Chu Vision Institute.